So, how exactly do you redesign an entire country from the ground up? I'm not just talking about a few new policies here and there, but a whole new operating system for a nation. Today, we're diving into an incredibly ambitious national blueprint from the Maldives that's designed to do just that.
This one sentence, it's basically the North Star for the entire plan. It's not about small tweaks, it's about a total transformation. The goal is a nation that's tough, that includes everyone, and that runs, well, like a high-performance machine. It's a huge vision, and as you'll see, the blueprint to get there is just as bold.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to look at the new blueprint itself, then how they plan to build a smarter government, wire the whole system together, what it all means for every citizen, and finally, how they plan to make sure it's all built to last.
So first up, the blueprint itself. And let's be clear, this isn't just another policy document that's going to sit on a shelf and collect dust. You should really think of it more like a detailed architectural plan for the entire country's future, mapping out everything from the structure of the government to the services people get every day.
Okay, so let's get into how this whole thing is supposed to be built. You know, any great structure needs a rock-solid foundation. And for the Maldives, that foundation starts with a complete rethink of how the government itself actually works.
And get this, the core idea is pretty radical. What if you ran a country with the same kind of clarity and accountability you'd find in a really well-managed company? That's the plan. It applies proven ideas from the business world to give every part of government a crystal clear purpose and a direct line of responsibility.
This table just lays it out perfectly. In this model, the citizens, that's you, are the shareholders. You're the ultimate owners. Parliament acts like a board of directors, setting the big picture strategy. The president? That's your CEO, in charge of making it all happen. And ministers are like the heads of different business units. This isn't just a clever analogy. It makes it totally clear who is responsible for what and who they answer to.
But okay, how do you actually make a new structure like this work in the real world? The plan breaks it down into 3 clear steps. First, you audit all the existing institutions to get rid of overlap and waste. Second, you digitize all the legal stuff, making it open for anyone to see and comment on. And third, you automate the day-to-day work to make government faster and way more responsive.
All right, we've got the structure. Now it's time to wire everything together. This next part is all about building the digital and legal nervous system that's going to make this whole new government run like a dream.
But before we get to the solution, you gotta understand the problem they're up against. Right now, information is often just trapped in these little silos. Different government departments have their own separate systems, data gets copied over and over, and there aren't really any rules for sharing it. That makes being efficient, well, pretty much impossible. So what's the fix? The solution is to create something called a Public Standards Authority, or PSA. Think of this as the one central hub, the single source of truth for all government data. Its job is to create the standards that will let information flow securely and seamlessly from one department to another. And the PSA has some serious muscle. Its job is to certify that government computer systems can actually talk to each other, to coordinate how data gets shared, to keep an eye on cybersecurity, and even to provide training. This is really the technical backbone for the whole new integrated government.
We've talked a lot about structure and data, but what does any of this actually mean for the average person? You know, the important stuff. This next section is great because it shifts the focus to the ultimate goal, using this brand new system to make daily life better for every single citizen.
A huge goal here is to make sure progress isn't just stuck in the capital city. The framework is all about developing regional hubs, making sure every single inhabited island has essential services, and giving local councils more power. They're so serious about this, they're even going to track fairness with something called Regional Development Scorecards.
And here's where it gets really tangible and exciting. To bring all these services directly to the people, the plan calls for building new high-tech community centers that are designed to become the real heart of local life. And just look at what's going to be inside these things. I mean, we're talking smart libraries you can access with your fingerprint, AI search to find information, places for local entrepreneurs to get help, and even biometric terminals to access government services. This is where that high-level digital plan turns into real-world benefits for everyone. All right, this blueprint is, well, it's incredibly ambitious. So the big question is, how do you make sure it actually works and, doesn't fall apart? This final section is all about building in resilience and accountability right from the start. The answer is basically a whole web of oversight. It's not just one watchdog, but a complete system of checks and balances. You've got groups to monitor state-run companies, to run audits, to fight corruption, and a council just to track performance. But the real game changer? A digital transparency portal, which will give the public real-time access to see how things are going.
Now, a transformation this big isn't going to happen with the flip of a switch. There's a clear 4-phase roadmap. It starts with building the foundation, doing the audits and designing the PSA. Then it moves to a pilot phase in a few key areas. After that, it's time to scale up across the whole country. And finally, the consolidation phase, which is all about making sure these changes stick for good.
So after all that, what's the big payoff? What's the end game here? Well, the impact is meant to be huge. It's not just about a more efficient government. It's about creating jobs, developing new skills, including everyone in the economy, preserving culture, and maybe most importantly, rebuilding public trust.
Let's just break that down and make it super concrete. What this means for people is new jobs in local industries. It means training for the future. It means better economic chances for everyone, no matter where they live. And it means a renewal of local culture and a government that people can actually see is working for them. That is the why behind this entire blueprint.
This final quote from the document really just says it all. This isn't just a dream, it's a bold, actionable strategy to create a nation that's connected digitally, balanced regionally, and focused squarely on its citizens.
So, the blueprint is laid out. It's one of the most comprehensive national makeovers you could possibly imagine. The only question left is, what are they going to build with it? You can be sure the rest of the world will be watching to find out.